Because I did one time, I bleeped a name out, and then everyone texted me like, "Who's the name you bleeped out?" And I was like, "That's defeating the purpose of the bleep."
Yeah.
So now we just take the bleeps out.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you had any trouble on podcasts before? Any bleeping out?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'm just I'm an overthinker. I'm quite a paranoid person and have very little filters. So I think being recorded just makes me slightly nervous. That's what I like about live comedy. Sometimes I've said really regrettable things on stage.
But no one's recording it.
But it's not recorded.
Yeah.
And people always say, do you not get nervous doing stand-up? And I'm like, well, no, because it's live. So even if I've had gigs where I've completely died and the audience have palpably hated me. I mean, and the worst is Liverpool, because what Liverpool will do as a collective, because they're kind of polite, surprisingly polite, right?
Yeah, lovely city.
It is nice. Hey, I don't want to start off insulting the people in Liverpool. I love Liverpool. But they'll just be quiet and wait. And it's eerie. They won't heckle, they won't shout, they won't talk. They'll fold their arms, and it's like they're in one WhatsApp group and they've all gone, let her
Not
burn.
today.
Just wait. And then you just carry on talking like, oh, did you not like that one? Here's another one, trying to like run the time down.
Has this happened multiple times in Liverpool?
No, only once.
All right.
But it was enough that I never got booked again by that club.
Hot water?
No, it was another one. Oh, I've never got in my hot water. What, with my giant vagina? No. I keep that in, not bothered. Say it to their face, mate. Have more women. No. But it was a club and they booked me a lot, and then I died. And to be fair to them, it was a spectacular death.
Oh, really?
And then they didn't say like, oh, we're not going to book you again. They just, in a very much real sense.
Stop replying to emails.
Yeah, stop replying. But yeah, in that environment though, you feel bad, but then you know those people the next day will forget you forever, and you'll be that woman, that comic with brown hair who we hated. But if you say something on the internet, that imagine this, just to frighten you, your great grandchildren could be like, oh God,
fucking hell,
who knew? Great granny. Slut.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah,
I think you were going to do racist, but no.
I hate that word. It's all I could think of. No. Slag. No, I couldn't think of the worst word I could say. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I do kind of love the live aspect of it. It happens on the night. That's it, and we all walk away. It's if you're famous and you die, then it gets brought up a lot.
Everyone.
But if you're kind of in the middle, people kind of go, oh, who the fuck was that?
Sorry, I know we've already started, but I really hate the word slut, and I don't know why I said it, and now I'm overthinking it. Can we beep that out? Or I'll give you an alternate now to put in there. Oh, okay. Do you see great granny? What a fool.
A real gear change from the original. Right, we'll bleep that in.
Yeah.
Fool.
Yeah.
Fool. What a goddamn fool she was.
Yeah.
So would that Liverpool death, is that one of your worst?
Yeah, it was my worst.
It was the worst.
The worst, yeah.
Was it 10, 15, 20?
20. I think I was opening for Weekend Bill. Driving it into the ground. And do you know what the worst part was? Is the host is quite a nice man. And when I came backstage, I was like, we all know what's happened. I mean, if you died, no one's like deluded enough, or at least no woman in comedy is deluded enough to think it didn't happen. I've seen some men really notice, but I came backstage and the host was like, you know, mate, if it's not going well, if you get to like, 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, if you're really not feeling it, you could just come off, I'll still pay you. But what he's saying is like, that was so dreadful to witness. I wish you just...
Yeah.
I wish you just
next
left.
time, and there won't be one, you're coming off early.
But I was always taught the opposite. You just have to do your time. Even if they hate you, just do your 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 30 minutes, whatever it is.
That's fucking painful. I think people, the death is one thing, but having to see people when you come off stage is the worst. Because they know, and everyone's just kind of like not making eye contact. Everyone's checking their phones. It's painful. And you're on the other side when you see it happen. You've got, oh, you poor bastard.
It's not always your fault, I don't think.
No.
Sometimes audiences, I do think it is them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're dicks.
Oh, 100%.
And sometimes I think they've decided they're not going to go with you, and then they don't. And actually, because you know when it's your fault and you know when it's just them.
Yeah. So is Liverpool your cursed city? There's not that there's any other places you don't like doing now?
I mean, I like everywhere. The thing is, I always loved Liverpool until that night, so I don't think I could say it's my cursed city, because I did a lot of gigs there, so I don't. Do you know what I mean? And they always went great, and they have these big like Christmas gigs in the Philharmonic in Liverpool, and I used to do them, and they were great. So like
Really? Nice Christmas gigs.
Yeah, it was excellent. Like, it was really fun. It was like the same promoter puts on this big thing in the Philharmonic, and it was really fun. So yeah, I think Liverpool as a city's fun to play. I just think there's not that many promoters, and one that did book me no longer does, and the other one's hot water. So I've just sort of written it off.
Yeah, I'm not going back there.
It's like, oh well.
Wow, a nice Christmas gig. That's rare.
Yeah.
I did see you put a picture up. You did a Christmas gig in a bingo hall.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
How was that? That seems like a very
Yeah, it was
rough setting.
Yeah, it was. It was fun though, because it was in Stockport. Nobody gave a shit about comedy. Can I swear on this podcast?
Oh, of course.
I've done it now. It's out there. Well, I said slut earlier. I mean, we started.
I'm never going to do that again.
Sorry. I said full.
Phil.
Yeah, it was a nice. Yeah, the bingo gig was. It's weird because the people were there to play bingo, and then
So it wasn't even a comedy night in a bingo hall.
Well, it was, but I think it was like maybe an add-on. No one who was in the audience seemed like they came for comedy. I think they came for bingo, and then were finishing their tea whilst comedy was on. But it was one of those gigs that I think sometimes audiences, if they can see that you are at a disadvantage in that venue, sometimes they're quite kind. And I actually think that audience were quite nice.
I think a bingo audience would be quite kind though.
Yeah, they were. It was just like nanas.
Yeah, who I don't think would be ready in any way, shape or form for comedy.
No, one of them I don't even think she could hear, to be honest. It was very low jeopardy because you knew whatever you did, it didn't. There was 10 old ladies. They're not going to...
Yeah, the promoter's not going to go, so there's no chance of progression at the bingo hall.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the next level? What's the step up? Yeah.
You can open up in the cafe. Do comedy in the cafe next time.
You've already peaked here, so... Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, what do you think your favourite place is to gig? I love hearing about comedians when they've just got an absolute love to go place.
So I like a lot of places. Edinburgh Stand is always my favourite because it's when I started comedy. I was in Scotland, and that is like my comedy home. I always say in a really creepy way to my husband that if I died, I want my ashes to be at the Edinburgh Stand.
All right, okay.
They have never signed off on this, to be clear, because I've not asked them because I'm still alive. But what I'm banking on is that once someone's dead, you can't say no.
I mean, it feels like... Because
it would just be so rude.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like you might need to get sign off on that one.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because then
no,
they
it's
could
a dead person.
I think you've kind of got less room to kind of fight your case if you're dead.
Yeah, but it would be... Imagine the horror. If I wrote a letter being, I want my... Right, if I wrote like a really... Right.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking forward to this.
Hear me out.
Okay.
I want my ashes to be at the Edinburgh Stand because it's my favourite place.
Yeah.
So, if I ask them in advance, that feels like a lot of red tape, right? I don't want to do that. I just think they'll say no.
Yeah.
But if I wait until I'm dead, I'll write a little letter now, like to my husband with my final wishes saying...
Open this when I die.
Open this when I die, really poetic. And then when I die, they'll find this letter and it'll be like a lovely good news story of like, oh, this was my favourite club, blah, blah. How monstrous would the Stand look if at that point they went, oh, no.
Yeah, they would look awful.
I'm being passive aggressive and manipulative from beyond the grave.
I also think you need to do a letter to the press. You know, when
100% there'll be a press release with it.
You need to do it to the, like, you know, when you send a tape to like a news outlet or receipt of my death.
Yeah.
Put this, and then the press will get a hold of it, and then once the press have got it, they're fucked.
Oh, and you know how people are really into hauntings now? They probably always were, but there's like a big, you know, like there's podcasts.
Into hauntings.
Okay, so there's loads of podcasts now about haunted houses,
like
ghosts, that kind of stuff. What did you think I meant by
I wasn't really sure, I will be honest. I was like, what is she talking about?
You think it's like an interior design thing? You know, these haunting curtains, but just like floating ghosts.
Are you familiar with the hauntings?
Yeah, no, not the hauntings. It's because my accent is really misleading. No, I just mean ghosts.
Right, okay.
Sorry.
Break it down for you, Daisy. I'm simple as hell. Simple as hell.
Ghosts. Because people are into ghosts now. There's loads of podcasts and they're quite fun to listen to because they never conclude because nobody knows. Yeah,
you can't be like, well, that's not true.
They do an investigation and it always ends with like, oh, well, the knocking on the wall might have been a ghost, might have been the pipes. It's just like, so we're never going to end this investigation, fine.
So a lot of that happens. So you're concerned that you would be kind of lumped in with the hauntings?
No, I'm going to use that. as I said, manipulative from beyond the grave. I'm going to use that. I'm going to write in the letter, P.S. If you do not put my ashes on display at the Edinburgh stand, I will haunt the building. Now that would be enough that very suggestible people, because there's a lot of them, will start going to the stand and be like, oh, that's weird. It felt suddenly really cold in this basement venue. Or did you guys feel the breeze? And they'll be like, the door was open. They're like, no, I think it's more significant. And someone brushed past me in this busy, crowded venue, but I think it was a ghost. And then they'll get bad press. People won't go. So they're like, oh, for God's sake, we're going to have to appease Daisy Earl's spirit by putting her ashes displayed at the Edinburgh stand.
Weird about. Can I just say, you have put so much thought into this.
It's just, I'm very keen on my final resting place being where I want it to be. And I don't want to not get my own way.
What's your second choice?
There is none.
There's no negotiating.
All my ashes at the Edinburgh stand, Ralph, or I'll haunt it. I will haunt it, and I'll haunt it at the worst times.
Just as someone's about to go
Intimate
on stage.
fringe shows, Red Raws, do you mean?
I think Red Raws are haunted enough, Daisy, I'll be honest. I don't think they need any more help being absolutely fucked.
No, I think above where the cowboy painting is.
Yeah, I like that.
Just a little picture of me.
You think about your death quite often then, Daisy?
No, just enough.
Just
that one element of it. I'm just very organised. And now this is on the podcast. If I did die, it'll be even more poignant because they'll be like, oh, it's like she knew. Put her ashes.
We'll do it. Tell you what, we'll just cut to you crying now. Yeah. We'll take this bit out and then we'll just cut, and then you just cry, and then I'll send it to Eva and I'll be like, it's what she would have wanted.
She really did want this.
I mean, she wouldn't email me back, but I mean,
yeah, if you could ask, I don't always get an immediate email back. So if you could ask someone with more clout than both of us put together, Danny boy, maybe just be like, could you
message him any chance, mate? And he'll get back to him in 3 weeks, and then that'll be it.
Yeah. So I think we've been very productive on this podcast so far.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever planned my death.
But I've not planned my death. Yeah. I'm not, I'm hoping to live for a very long time. I'm just organised for where I go. What, where are you going to put your ashes?
I don't know if I've decided if I want to be cremated or not.
Oh, that's mad. What are you going to do? Buried?
Yeah,
dreadful idea.
No, it feels like then people have got to go to a place to visit me.
Yeah, but
feels like ashes. Just people could just go, oh yeah, oh he's up in the air somewhere. Nah, fuck that. I want you to have to trek to a cemetery. Trek to a cemetery, and no matter what the weather.
I think this says a lot about your personality.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like a horrible fact about ashes?
Yes.
I think it's a fact, but I'm going to say it with conviction. It may
we
not
don't
be.
Check facts on this podcast.
Don't, because nothing I'll say will hold up at all.
Excellent.
I think it's more with pets than humans. Mm-hmm. But apparently when you get your ashes from the pets, it's not from the pets, from the vets, it's not just your pet. So because obviously they have some facility to cremate pets, but they haven't got the facility to keep it, separated enough. So it's a bit of your pet, a bit of someone else's pet, it's all a bit of a mix match.
Fucking
more
hell.
The sentiment than the...
You're reading this fact. This is brilliant.
I hope it's true now.
Ashes monthly.
Could make them into a diamond. Apparently people could do that now. Put them in a firework.
A firework?
Yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah.
There's a company in America that you could put ashes into a firework and then, lose Nan, but have like a massive
fucking
bonfire
hell
party.
of a bonfire party.
Yeah. Be like, oh, there she goes. It's very tasteful.
I wonder if anyone's done that for a family member and then regretted it as soon as the thing's up into the air. To be like, oh shit, fucking Nan just blew up in the sky.
Ralph, I have a question for you.
Go for it.
I didn't prepare anything for this, and then I panicked this morning and I checked my emails and I was like, I'm sure you didn't ask me to.
No prep.
But I heard Joe McTiernan's episode in the car yesterday, and I was like, if they've prepped this, it does not show. It's like, this is just babble.
What a damning indictment of this podcast that it is no prep whatsoever.
No prep. I was like, this is just, they're chatting.
Yeah, fuck that. I kind of feel like I'm inconveniencing people if I ask them to prep. So I just go, well, fuck it, we'll see what happens.
Adorable. That's so polite, so Scottish.
Yeah.
It's more don't ask people to do a job.
Yeah. Because I think it's more of a just, we'll just see what happens. I know you've done comedy in Dubai.
Comedy in Dubai, yeah. That was fun. It was, no, right, so okay, I'll tell you why I hesitated on Dubai. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. Genuinely, trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
The promoters were so lovely, so warm, so accommodating.
Yeah.
So, like, it was just the audiences were lovely, all expats. The shows went great. You stay in these amazing hotels. The other acts were amazing. Genuinely, one of the most fun trips I've ever had. I absolutely loved it. I am such an ill-educated lout that I did not realise any of the like political kind of context of
the kind of
Dubai.
Middle East controversy.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that. And then when I came back, and one of my friends, who is a woman who is married to a woman, was like, "Oh, I was really surprised you went out to Dubai." And I was like, "Why?" And then she explained that they have quite a
human rights is not the priority.
No, they've got quite a well, not even a history. It's really quite a current situation.
It's still going
with the whole, human rights and LGBT.
Right, so you didn't know. You were just like, fuck it. I don't think Dubai's one of the worst though.
I didn't tune into it at all because to be honest, when I was booked for it and they said 5-star hotel, I know morally it's shallow, but I was
Say no
like,
more.
hey, I'm there, great.
Hey, you're gigging at the Kremlin in Moscow, Daisy. It's 5-star hotel. Get me in.
The worst part is though, I like to think I'm a good person. I had such fun. I'd probably go back. Is that terrible? Even though now I know, I'm still just. It's awful, isn't it? That is awful.
I think Dubai's an all right one. It's not. It's not the worst of the worst. It's not Saudi Arabia.
No, yeah, but you can't. That's a hell of a scale. You can't go, well, it's not. That's morally. There's no morality at what you just said.
Yeah, no.
Because you can't just go, well, it's not. Because that's like going, well, it's not murder. I just did a little bit of a slap. Do you mean you can't? That's too big a scale. But we're all, I think. Morals are hard, aren't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
morals are hard. That's the name of this episode. Morals are hard. They're really hard to keep on top of. Sometimes they just slip through the net. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm very suggestible, you see, because I'm pretty left wing, right? Yeah. Not surprising, but sometimes I think I'm quite easily influenced, and I do wonder whether I am the kind of person that, in the right circumstance, would join a cult.
Oh, yeah.
Because I just think, I also think in the right circumstance, I'd probably do a murder.
Oh, good. That's
nice.
Do you
mean? But not just for no reason.
So if you were on Darren Brown, that he would just have you eating at the palm of his hand, you'd be doing anything.
Yeah. Oh, Darren Brown, though. Can we talk about Darren Brown? Because I actually want to get this off my chest for a while on Darren Brown.
Okay.
Right. So Darren Brown, have you ever seen Apocalypse?
What was this one of his shows?
It was one of his TV shows, and it's quite old now. I think maybe between 5 and 10 years old. I'm not sure. But it was out a while ago.
Okay, I've seen most of them.
So this was the one where he convinces someone it's the end. This man that it's the end of the world.
Yes.
And then it's a zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
And then it's themed around the Wizard of Oz. So he goes on a little like journey. This man, I think his name was Stephen, but I can't remember. No facts, right? So this man, he's in like his early 20s. And he is made to believe, he goes, I don't know if it's hypnosis or how he does it, but they've got all these actors, all these extras playing zombies. Yeah. He wakes up, I think, in like an army camp, or there's like,
yes, he does. Yeah.
A national like TV, all the
TVs
system. Are playing that kind of warning, like end of the world thing. And then he meets this little girl who's actually an adult actress who's just playing, she looks young enough to play a child. It's not a real child, just to be clear. But anyway, so he goes on this journey and then he's sort of presented with moral tests. Yeah. But at one point, he's really emotional because he thinks he's found a video message or like a sort of wailing wall thing, a message from his family.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't remember this, but this is hard.
Yeah, so he's not, and he does a little video message to his family, hoping that they might find it, because he doesn't know, sorry, I just hit the microphone, doesn't know where they are now. Uh-huh. And then he has all these little moral tests, and then at the end of it, he wakes up in his bed, he's all emotional, and then it's meant to be like stoicism, like he's now grateful for his life, right? And this man is really good-spirited about it, and he like hugs Darren Brown, and he's like, it's really shown me like all the power, that I had within me, that I had, because maybe like the Wizard of Oz, it's like I had courage all along, right?
Yeah, fucking hell.
But if that was me, I'd be like, I'm sorry, Darren, can I just check something with you? Right, quick thing.
Head fuck of the year.
You thought I was a bit unfocused in my life and a bit ungrateful to my mum occasionally and a little bit rude. So you decided to convince me my entire family were dead. the world was overrun by zombies, and then you, just for fun, put me through this little moral maze. What if I went the wrong way? What if that little girl, I threw her in front of a zombie, I didn't try and protect her at all? I'd have to live forever thinking, oh, it turns out when push comes to shove, I'd sacrifice a child if it saved myself. I never needed to know that until you made up this little fun experiment, Darren. I'd be furious.
And they're like, okay, cut, the girl's dead. Yeah. Too late, mate. Too late.
Also, what's the risk assessment in this? Because this is the thing. I hand on heart, if I genuinely believed that there were zombies, I'd drive my car at them. They're just some poor extras.
Just some theatre students.
Yeah, and now suddenly...
They're now under the Peugeot 206.
It's all over the papers. Oh, Daisy's killed some children because Darren Brown was messing around with her. I think he's out of control. He's been left unchecked for years. He's charming,
let's bring him down a peg
he's
or two.
handsome, he's clever, and people just go, hey, Darren, you do you. But no.
And all he's doing is like he's probably maybe done 10 specials, and all he's done is ruin maybe 10 people's lives.
Exactly.
But he's made all of the rest of our lives entertained.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll sacrifice those people as long as it's not me.
We're all monsters. And
morals are hard, Daisy.
Morals are hard.
I was reading, I think it was your Brighton Fringe little blurb, and it said you hate Gordon Ramsay.
I do hate Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I'll stand by.
Yeah.
He is a monster.
He is.
He's not a Darren Brown monster, though. He is a real life walks among us monster. He's the rudest man.
Oh, have you met him?
No.
All right.
But I don't want to, because what would really disappoint me, because I'm quite the people pleaser, I hate him. I hate what he stands for. I think that his angry bullying of people that work in restaurants, do you know when he goes off and does kitchen nightmares and stuff, and someone can't cook well or can't run a restaurant well, and it's like, it's not the end of the world. Do you mean it's just,
mate.
Yeah, and he gets all shouting, and they do a little crying. It's all because they're, I don't know, pizza's not good enough. I mean, just calm down. He's such an angry man, and I think that's really toxic. But then I'm such a people pleaser.
If you met him,
I don't like him. The amount of times I've been watching a show and think, oh, just calm down and step back and just be a bit. Just calm yourself. Like, just be a bit nicer. Say it in a...
Stop being such a fool.
Well, say it in a more constructive way. Because the thing is, I don't think anyone has ever responded positively to someone shouting at them. Do you mean no one has ever really, in real life, if you go, you're an idiot and you don't know what you're doing, no one's gone, oh, I better try harder. They're just going to...
Sorry, you've got me. Got my
be
number.
Overwhelmed and stop trying.
Yeah.
So I don't like Gordon Brown.
Gordon Brown. Take that, the MP for Kirkcaldy. I mean, to be fair, if we're going by Gordon Brown...
So hot today.
Yeah. Gordon Brown is arguably worse than Gordon Ramsay, to be fair.
I haven't got time for Gordon Brown. We're on Gordon Ramsay.
Right, we'll come back to the war in Iraq and crashing the economy after this. Gordon Ramsay didn't deregulate the banks, Daisy.
No, stop contextualising him with Gordon Brown. I want to get my point across about Gordon Ramsay. I hate Gordon Ramsay, but I'm such a people pleaser. Mm-hmm. I know I despise this man.
Yeah.
If I met him in person, not only would I be nothing but polite, I would want him to like me, and I'd be upset if he didn't, because I've got no backbone. I would just be like, oh, hey, oh my gosh, so lovely to meet you. I love your show. Aren't you a great cook?
I'm just on a podcast saying how much I loved your show.
Saying, aren't you great?
Yeah. Don't listen.
Love your apron, Gordon. It's very white. How do chefs keep their clothes so white? That's what I ask him.
Top chat.
Random drivel, just to not get onto the subject.
What would you do if Gordon Ramsay started shouting at you?
Oh, dear. The thing is, so I'm not good with people shouting at me. So that's why, though, I don't like him, because if someone shouts at me, I instinctively want to cry. I can't really cope.
You should never open a restaurant and be on kitchen nightmares.
No, I get really overwhelmed.
You would crumble.
I would crumble. Oh, within minutes. I'd get overwhelmed.
But I think they pick arsehole restaurant owners who are going to be combative with them. So I do think they pick these people because they know it's all the kind of production companies. They just pick the worst of the worst people that they know are going to make drama.
Yeah, but then I always think because I'm such a hippie, right? I think especially men, such a hippie. Do you mean? I always try to see the best in people, and I think that when people are angry, especially men, and behaving that bad behaviour, often just a bit mentally ill. Do you mean?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's
or a bit vulnerable, or just their restaurant's failing. I mean, that's the thing. We know their restaurant's failing because that's why he's there.
Don't kick the man when he's down.
But that's what I mean. So then they're like, oh, your restaurant's failing. We could just help you, but we're going to torture you first by this man. So we're going to bring in this man and he's just going to shout at you all, and then we'll, put up some paint or something, because they never do that much.
No, all that
also,
happens.
sorry, can I just I hate Gordon Ramsay, right? He's not that talented. I get he's a talented fucking cook. Fine, you're good at cooking.
We'll give you that.
But still, so was my nan. Like, shouldn't go on about it, right? You did cooking, but when he's like, oh, well, we really needed Gordon to, rejuvenate our restaurant. Yeah. All they ever do, mildly change the
menu.
decor.
Yeah, change the menu a little bit.
And reduce the menu.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could go in and go, right, you've got 14 burgers, have 3.
Yeah,
done.
It's the same. Once you've watched 3 episodes of that, you're like, oh, this is all the same shit.
Yeah. That brown, never put brown in your restaurant.
Yeah.
It's dated.
Only
it's a dated
Only put it in your
colour.
podcast name. That's all we want. Brown, that's it. That's fucking
God, I actually forgot that as I said that. The brown jewels.
Yeah.
The brown jewels, though, it's because you're Ralph Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
That's it.
It's fun, though, because it sounds like a big podcast about poo.
People take it in very different ways. Someone thought it was going to be a racist podcast.
Oh, God, that'd be awful.
I mean, that's the second half of the podcast.
Imagine if I came on and I didn't know. Oh, Christ. And again, I've already told you I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah. So here's my far right ideology, Daisy. Let's see if we can get you on board with this. Darren, come out here. Let's get recruited.
No, I do. I have a limit. Thing is, though, I'm very defensive of other people, so I'm actually quite fierce. If someone was rude or shouted at someone else in front of me,
oh yeah, I can imagine you would do that.
I can absolutely have no problem with getting involved there. But if someone shouted at me about me, I think it's because if you're a little bit of an overthinker or a bit insecure, if someone shouts at you, you're terrible. There's that little voice in your head going,
maybe I am.
Well, don't shout about them, I have a point. Do you mean? Just, what I mean?
Hear them out, Daisy. Knows? Hear them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just see where he's going with this. You mean, yeah.
And maybe get some good feedback here.
Yeah. Okay, you want to talk about people you hate. Who is your least favourite celebrity and why?
Ooh. Ryan Reynolds.
Ooh, interesting. Why?
I have despised that man from the second I saw him on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. I cannot stand his face.
Ooh.
I really, I've got this, really thing. I don't know why, but I just cannot handle him. Cannot handle the man.
But is it just his face or
it's his
demeanor?
Face, it's his demeanour. I've always, because I grew up, I was a big Jim Carrey fan.
Love Jim Carrey.
Love him.
Good shout.
Love him. Ryan Reynolds is just a poor impersonation of Jim Carrey in my eyes.
That feels very unfair, though.
It is. This is it. This is the one. It doesn't feel as if I've got. And again, I know for a fact, if Ryan Reynolds walked through that curtain right now, I'd be like, God, Ryan.
Yeah, we both would. Ryan and Gordon, we would make them welcome.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just can't handle him. I thought I'd gotten over it, and I went to see Deadpool a few years back, and I watched it, and I was like, I really do not find this guy funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's probably him and Madonna. Fucking arseholes.
Well, I mean, I'm always a little bit defensive of people who are poor man's somebody else, because the only comedy clip that I've ever had go kind of viral or even just get any attention at all was a clip from when I was on a show on BBC Scotland, and it was called Comedy Underground.
Comedy Underground, I remember it.
And this clip, basically, it got about 2 million views on Facebook, right? And then I go to the comment section, there's hundreds of comments, and I was like, oh wow, they must love me. Literally, there was one entire thread after another about whether or not I'm Dawn French. And it was ridiculous because you could tell they weren't even trying to be funny.
Yeah.
It was people tagging their friends going, oh, is that Dawn French? She looks quite young. And it's like, because I'm 30 years younger than her. That's why, but I'm not Dawn French. And then even when I commented...
Oh, you didn't comment, did you?
I did. I got involved. I was like,
Daisy.
guys, just to be clear, I'm not Dawn French. They were like, oh, good one. And then they carried on...
As if you went
debating whether I was Dawn French, doing a character.
Holy shit.
But I do bloody love Dawn French, to be fair.
I mean, she's good.
Oh, she's great. So it's not really an insult, but I don't want to be the poor man's Dawn French. Okay. I want to take over her life and be Dawn French.
That's a bold move, stepping in when the comments are kicking off. That's a bold move.
I do it all the time though. I always
Do you?
fight. Yeah, but I've had to stop myself because it's such a waste of energy and time and life. Because if a video comes up and someone types something mean and it could be complete random, not about me. I mean, just like a random Facebook video, and then because the internet. I think the internet section brings out the worst kind of people and the worst kind of side to people.
Yeah.
And people write horrible things, and then I get protective of someone in the video, and it's probably a video of a video of a video. So the person in the video probably isn't even reading these comments, but then someone will say something horrible, and I'll feel the need to reply.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realise after a few hours, especially when you click on the person's profile, a disproportionate amount of them, their profile picture is of a cat.
Yeah.
And my theory is, go with me on this.
I've got a similar theory, so let's see that.
If it's just the cats? Because cats are assholes. What if...
Wildly different from what my theory is. Wildly different. Oh my God. When you hear where I'm going with this, you're going to be like, all right, Ralph.
What? No, I was going to think that what if, like, when people go out to work, cats open up the laptop, write something, racist and horrible, shut the laptop. I wouldn't put it past a cat.
On brand for cats.
Yeah. What I realised was that people in comment sections, and I don't know why it only dawned at me at that point, they're not actually trying to have a conversation. Everyone's shouting. Do you mean? It's the equivalent of people in a pub putting on headphones and everyone's standing on chairs just yelling. Yeah. Like no one's
never
listening.
going to change anyone's mind about any of this. Any Twitter argument you have, you're never going to change it. You're wasting your life if you try and argue on the internet.
But imagine if you could. Like imagine if someone was like, I hate these people. And then you write, I think that's actually, I think what you really hate is blah, 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 blah.
Your dad.
Your dad. And maybe if your wages have gone down, maybe blame your employer and not then imagine if they were just like, oh God, that's a really good point. Sorry about that. I'm just going to calm myself down. That's you've made a really interesting argument there.
No, unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to happen. No. People just they just want blood. That's it. They just want someone to be taken down a peg or two. They want to have some kind of power.
Yeah, they do, which is sad, really.
Yeah, it's sad.
But that's why it goes full circle. They've just got to get a hobby.
Yeah.
Just think if they had a gang, these people would be a lot happier.
A gang?
A gang, yeah. Like an old school gang. Do you mean like
going
a
around beating
house?
people up? All right, no.
No, not that kind of gang.
My head went to, have you ever seen the film Warriors? I think you were talking about going around the city with baseball bats. No. That's a hobby, Daisy. That's not a hobby.
No, I wasn't thinking those kind of like, not like extreme criminal gangs, like West Side Story gangs, like clicking.
Right, okay.
Like,
so not any kind of like kneecaps.
Like more dancing gangs.
Okay, that's again not a gang. Not a gang.
Have you ever seen West Side Story?
My head went Sopranos, like Mafia gang, and like the Warriors.
I feel you've not watched West Side Story.
Guess what? I haven't watched West Side Story. I don't even know what it's about.
2 gangs, jets and sharks, lots of singing, lots of clicking.
What's the beef?
I don't really know, to be honest.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't sound like you have.
No, but I think it was based in America, so probably racism. But they were just, but with the clicking,
racism with clicking. Now there's a review for West Side Story.
Yeah, being a Karen, right?
Yeah.
Not excusing the behaviour of the women who are called Karens. Often they are being awful. Yeah. But what I find surprising is there must be a male equivalent, and why has that not come to light?
I think there must be.
Because there must be like a Kevin.
Yeah, it must. I don't know. Is Karen? There must be. Someone must have invented it.
Also, they've made the Karen thing too broad now.
Yeah, I think it gets dished out. It's had its time in the sun.
Well, because Karen used to seem to be a woman who is either being rude to waiters or racist, right? Both of those things, that's fine. You could call someone a Karen because they're being... No, sorry.
Sorry. That thing meant like being rude to waiters and racism is fine.
I'd like to clarify. I think it's very important I clarify.
I'm going to take this out in the edit.
No. No. I think it's not okay to be racist or rude to waiters. Yep. So calling those women Karens, I think that was okay. But now you see clips where like there was this woman and it was in America, of course it was. She was working from home and people were like having a party outside her window in the middle of the day on like a Tuesday. And she came downstairs and relatively politely asked them to be a bit quieter because she had a work call. And they were like,
Karen.
oh, what a Karen. And I'm like, hang on. I think what you mean is just a woman with an opinion.
Yeah. Woman who just wants to noise down during the day.
I think she's just a lady trying to work. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out if there's an equivalent of Karen. Is there an equivalent of Karen, George? Do you know?
We could start one. I think Kevin is a good name.
Yeah, I don't know any Kevins.
I don't. That's why it's quite, we're not demonising anyone.
Yeah.
Like people called Alexa. That must be a shame for them.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's your life over.
I would just change my name at this point.
Yeah, I'm Alexis.
Oh, I'd go further. I'd just be like,
Dave.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave. It's Dave now. You sure don't want another girl name? No.
No, we're sticking with Dave. We're sticking with Dave.
It's Dave.
Have we got it? Ken.
Can I just say again? You didn't give me anything to prep. I'm much better.
I've enjoyed this. For the record, this is how this podcast goes. It's just a bit.
I did hear Joe's.
Yeah, you did hear Joe's. Yeah, there's no plan whatsoever. We just come in and we'll see how it goes. But there is a little bit at the end of the podcast. We're going to do some new sections. Right. You get to suggest a guest for a future episode of this podcast. It's probably going to have to be a comedian. I left this too open and like ambiguous in the beginning, and people were giving all mad decisions. So now it's going to be a comedian you like that I should try and get on a podcast in a future date.
Jojo Sutherland.
Jojo's coming on in July.
I suggest her. Your wish is my command. Pretend that she's not already booked. Oh, just text her now.
Okay, right. So you're
sorry, I'm doing a sound effect for texting. Yeah, Jojo says she can make it. You're welcome.
There's literally a camera pointing right at you. We've got video evidence of you going. Okay, so that's your suggested guest. Someone who's already planned to come on the podcast. Yeah. Love it.
No, all right, fine. You're going to be sassy about it. Okay. You've done tour support for Tom Stade.
Yeah.
I've done tour support for Tom Stade. When is Tom on?
Well, actually, I said Trudy met yesterday and she took some pictures from my French stuff and she was like, have you texted Tom about the podcast? And I went, no, I'm going to text Tom. So do you know what? This is the catalyst for me texting Tom Stade and get him on the podcast.
But I won't feel very responsible for that. So
you can do another one if you want.
What, another imaginary text? He said yes.
Yeah. Are you want to suggest another name?
No, I love Tom Stade. I'd like to suggest Tom Stade.
Funny man.
He is funny. He's funny and he's a lunatic.
Oh, yeah.
In the best possible way. And that's what you need in a podcast.
Yeah. I can't. I've only met him like twice now. And the energy he's got is fucking wild.
It is wild, yeah.
So, okay. Tom Stade, done.
Anyway,
this is the end of the podcast, Daisy.
Oh, this is it?
This is it. You've completed it.
I feel I've contributed nothing to this.
You have. You contributed. This is an excellent episode of this podcast.
I don't think it is.
It is. Yeah.
It wasn't funny.
It was. I laughed a lot.
You didn't.
I did.
Because I wasn't saying anything funny. George, is this normally the standard of your podcast? Guys, I think you got to get people to prep. That was not... I don't mean criticising your podcast whilst I'm on it, but this was drivel.
See? Laughing.
Keeping the bit about me not liking Gordon Ramsay.
Are you trying to look at that camera?
No, I was trying to look at George. George seems like the authority in the room. So
I do the edit.
You do the edit?
I do the edit.
Jesus Christ. George, you have really led me to a false sense of security here. George has the presence of a man who quietly knows what he's doing. And with respect, Ralph, you do not.
That's the vibe of the podcast.
Mind you, when I heard your podcast and you spoke about this with Joe, and you were like, just find my feet as I go along, I was like, that is so male. Do you mean because women, we would research other podcasts, we would go and do prep, and we would talk to people that make podcasts, and then we probably wouldn't end up doing it, to be fair, because we'd be like, oh no, what if it's bad? I don't want to be. I'm not ready. Oh God, I'm just and then you wouldn't do it. Whereas a boy's like,
fucking wing it.
I'm going to make a pun on my name. I've got a picture. I'm going to ask a guest on. I've made it. Podcast complete. And I like that energy, right? That's good.
That is how I live my life.
And I feel bad I said it was drivel, but I was talking mainly about myself. I thought you were great, if that helps.
You fucking liar.
This is the only way I got to see you. So as a friend, I mean, minus points. But
this is how I live my life. Everything is winged.
Yeah.
The fact I've only taken my fringe pictures yesterday.
That does say a lot, to be fair.
That does say a lot about
It's
me.
what, weeks away?
Everyone else is doing, hey, poster drop like 4 months ago.
What's your fringe show about?
It's just a kind of extended club set. It's just going to be nothing. No scripted anything.
This is terrible marketing on your own podcast.
I don't worry. I've marketed.
Are we still recording? Will they hear this?
Yeah, they might actually.
Okay, so I'll ask again and just say it's excellent. What's the main theme of it?
There's no themes. It's going to be drivel.
This is right. Just lie. Just right.
It's going to be very funny. That's what you need to know.
Well, what's one bit of it about?
This is me and Joe Caulfield. We were talking about this last week. We just kind of go, it's funny. Just come along. It's going to be funny. That's all you need to know.
I would never come along if someone just said it was funny. Have you ever seen improv? They say that's funny all the time.
This is stand-up. This is stand-up that's been worked in the clubs.
But sorry, I got so excited about improv, I slightly spat on myself. But you always, if you go and see a show and they're like, funny, come see this funny person.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Not always true, no. You're very trusting.
Yeah, but
I need a hook, a theme.
Oh God, I've not got that. Next year I might do that, but this year, club set.
Let's come up with it. But tell me a joke. What's the main thing you talk about in your club set?
There's a lot of different just kind of stories that are not really connected in any way, shape or form. But this is what I did last year and it was a good laugh.
All right.
It's going to be all right.
Sure, it'll be fine. Sure, no.
You're fucked, Ralph. That was Daisy just looked at me as if to say, you're screwed. You don't stand a chance.
No, it's going to be great. It's going to be funny. I just think maybe if your flyer was going to tell someone about it in a sentence.
I fly the people in.
Do you? Oh, that actually then would work.
Yeah, that's it. You hold the flyer up and then people go, oh, it's you doing the flyer in, and they go, come in and see a show.
See, I hate flying my own show.
I love it.
Really?
If it was 10 days, I'm fine with that. It's the monotony and the repetitiveness of the flyering by the end of it is a killer. But as an actual thing to do, love it.
Oh no, I can't fly my own show. I could fly your show and be great. I mean, if you told me what it was about, but
which I'm not going to do.
But I can't fly my own show because I don't get embarrassed being on stage, but I get really embarrassed asking someone to come to my show.
I can literally walk up to big groups of people in the street and go, come to my show, and that's it.
Oh no, it makes me feel like a loser.
Oh, I love it.
I really hate it.
I like the challenge of kind of going up and convincing a group of people to come and see the show.
I had little like business cards, like a businessman from the 80s, to give to people for Brighton Fringe, and because I thought then I'd be allowed to like put them on the tables in the venue I was in. But the venue that I was in, like, mainly served Sunday lunch because my show was on a Sunday. And you can't interrupt someone's Sunday dinner.
Can't do that.
So I just really quietly went around people's tables, leaving his business cards. And everyone just seemed very confused because I didn't interact with the people at the table whatsoever. And even the smoking area where I could talk to them, I still just like a little ghost child went and just slipped a card like a prostitute.
Like a slut.
Yeah. Like a fool.
Daisy, pleasure having you on. Thank you very much for coming in, Daisy.
Thanks.
Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.